First of all, I'd like to say thank you to all 14,000 views on my last rant. I thank each and every one of you, and most importantly, thank you all 30 plus subscribers for joining me in this adventure of contrarian fuckboys fumbling around with a gay man channel. Now let's move on to the topic of this video. You remember point and click adventure games? Those are fucking great, and I love them. Yeah, most of them or puzzles make about as much sense as a drunken father's rambling, but hey, they make up for it with amazing stories, great settings, amazing atmosphere, good puzzle solving, for the most part, good visuals. Honestly, sit here and tell me this scene isn't fantastic. You're a fucking liar, and honestly, I want you hung for that opinion. My favorite being Beneath the Steel Sky for the great setting and amazing atmosphere. I'll be honest and say I haven't finished it yet, but man, I was enjoying every second of that playthrough. Another genre that works very similar to point-and-click adventure games happen to be RPGs. Personally, what I expect from an RPG combat system are 3 simple steps: customization, creating your own personal character, and in-depth combat system. Setting, story, atmosphere, art, direction, yeah, they're important, but remember, the main thing you're going to be doing in an RPG is usually fighting. I can excuse 1 or 2 of these steps to have fault, but if all 3 of these cross out, then I'm upset. Honestly, it's going to be a chore to get through 50 plus hours just for the story or whatever. Why am I even bringing this shit up? The subject matter is Telltale games. Well, that's because honestly Telltale games' newer titles are pretty much new age adventure games. The thing is, adventure games are still being produced to this day, and honestly, they still pretty much play the same way they've always have. Walk around, talk to people, solve some puzzles, do some things, yada yada yada. So, I should enjoy these Telltale games, right? No, I fucking hate Telltale games. I hate games like it. I hate every fucking title in this format. I hate this shit. And honestly, I never want to play anything like this ever again. It's bullshit and lies to you every fucking step of the way. I finished The Walking Dead Season 1, and that's all I'm playing of this subgenre. They almost all play the fucking same anyway. I'll boil it down to 4 issues and a couple of minor ones I had playing these. Let's begin. The first issue I had with this game was the choices, not really mattering too much. And every episode starts with you being told you're given choices that affect the story and the characters. The answer is not too much, honestly. You can save a couple of characters' lives with your choices, but they're either going to die later on, or if you're really fucked up, abandon you altogether. For the most part, the story will stay its toll, and there aren't multiple endings depending on what you've done. I'm sure the choices made in the earlier episodes might affect the new seasons that I haven't played, but hey, I wouldn't know. I stopped playing this series after the first game out of boredom. See this screen here? This is how many people you can save and keep with you by your side by the end of the game. Even then, Ben might as well be crossed out, because later on he's going to get himself killed anyway. Kenny can't die, at least not in this episode. Neither can Christina or Mead. You're always going to die. Clementine's always going to be on her own. And of course, it always ends on a cliffhanger ending after the fucking credits. Technically, your choices add up to what happens throughout the campaign for very specific parts, like the kidnapper scene. But for the most part, if the characters don't die, they'll die later on. And eventually you're going to be separated from the group and leave Clementine to either shoot you or leave you cuffed to the radiator. Especially since a lot of these characters only exist for one thing or twist. Like take Mark for example. He was just here to be served as dinner. Carly literally started flirting and kissing with you the second she was getting ready to expire. Jerry had dead written all over him, and honestly I hate him so I didn't care. Duck was literally only used as character development, and honestly they only delved into the kid when they were sharpening their hatchet for him. Honestly, this is just lazy writing, and I hate it when characters only start getting developed when they're getting sent off to the chopping block. These are people, damn it, not plot devices. Second quell I have with this game is that it's so fucking simple and narrow that you will almost never get lost in this game. Seriously, every puzzle, conflict, problem is so damn obvious, and there's just no interactivity with almost any objects in the background. In point-and-click adventure game, it's such a nice thing to be able to click on almost anything and hear either the character's opinion on the object, a silly weird animation, or hell, just reading some of the stuff you find around the game. That isn't the case here. Everything you need is in front of you with big bulging circles for dumb fucks to comprehend what's needed. It feels fucking empty and lifeless. Third has to be the levels themselves. They're so damn small, and you only really explore one or two areas at the most, before moving on to another one. It's like the game just doesn't think it can comprehend huge places for the player to explore and pick up items. It makes this world feel like it's fucking empty and small formulaic roller coaster ride you're supposed to keep your arms in. I'm not in an amusement park. I'm in a fucking video game. Fourth is the dialogue option, which I can understand if the fucking character doesn't do the fucking Mass Effect levels of bullshit. See what I fucking input, you piece of fucking shit. Keep your goddamn opinion on the matter to your fucking self. And when I say sure, I meant fucking sure, not yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, yeah! I know why they did this. It's because it was built from the ground up for fucking consoles with 4-face buttons and shortened dialogue option. That doesn't make it good. Just accessible. Bonus rants. I hate this inventory system. I can't interact with the objects with said item unless it specifically allows me. Most point-and-click adventure games give you a crap ton of options when it comes to communicating, object interactions, object mixing, showing a character an object to get an idea of what to do with it, etc, etc. But no, every fucking time here is so fucking simplified, and honestly you can only hold on to like 2 or 3 objects at most. I love the art style here. It's really nice, and I think the cell shading really gives it a nice comic style they were going for. I honestly appreciate that. Reminds me of that game 13 I love so much. But man, some of these animations are so stiff and ugly. I don't get it. Again, this game is on rails, so you should be able to spend time and money on this. Then I've encountered, I don't know, maybe like 8, 6 glitches altogether. Nothing game breaking, but a lot of graphical problems, and sometimes models just fuck up and get hung up on stuff. Some polish is needed for sure, and I have no idea how this happens. Honestly, I hate this game. There are just so many better options for adventure games that have an even more unique setting, setup, and engine that offers so much more than basically a cinematic roller coaster ride, where I sit here twiddling my thumbs, wondering where I go, finally fucking playing the game, and not sit through more cinematic bullshit to deal with the characters I can't fucking stand, and somehow owning 2 grown men half her size and a middle-aged man screaming at you for preventing them from eating human meat. Hell, in Kotar 1, the entire game has tons of choices that are way more interesting than save a child, or save a grown man, or save a badass woman, or a fucking bland man. In Kotar 1, there's 2 entire subplots in just Manon. You can solve a murder case and either convict the man and sentence him for his crimes, or tell the lie and keep him safe. Then there's the secret assassin society that you can take part in. There's a Kelkath youth you can find. There's tons more going on in this world, the majority of this one fucking game. You're able to explore at your own will and way more open than this scripted cinema level bullshit, along with decent fucking gameplay that isn't almost entirely hands off with QTE sprinkled around. I'd rather play Deponia or a puzzle agent. Yeah, some of these puzzles are weird, 90s levels of non-comprehensible nonsense or just really makes you think, but at least I'm using my actual fucking brain instead of just clicking on bubbles and waiting for cinematics to end. The saddest thing about this is the whole escapade is that there are tons of Telltale games that basically run on the same format and borrow almost everything from it. Each one plays like a fucking movie with QTE DVD menu games of level interactivity. I can forgive a linear adventure game if it's for the most part hands off and let me explore areas at my own leisure. I'm not for games that hold my hand, treat me to 5 or 4 plus hours of cutscenes and have almost no challenging puzzles whatsoever. Slap in a barely C level of drama series and you got yourself the epitome of trash in movie games. I want majority of this new age adventure titles to follow this format, go the way of the dodo, and never come back. Because as a man who loved this genre, we don't need more garbage filling this cesspool at the moment. Thank you so much for watching this video. Here's a couple of vids coming out I'm going to make. A tutorial for emulating NES games, then I'm going to make another video, probably a rant on something else, like the Rainbow Siege shitstorm that's been going on lately. If you can do me a huge favor, hit that like and subscribe button, and look and laugh at my Patreon. Take care, my people, and as always, stay skeptical, Marines.